Welcome to Soulmates Reunite, my new video series where I share with you my real-life soulmate reunions this lifetime. How it felt, if they recognized me too, did we end up in a romance, are we still together, all of the tea. Stay tuned and make sure you catch the entire series. Each video in the series will be simply entitled Soulmates Reunite. And at the bottom of the thumbnail, the name of that particular soulmate will be listed. Today, we are discussing King Anachi, aka Lawrence. You give me butterflies inside. Before we get into it, let me properly introduce myself. I am Empress Nandi, ordained metaphysician, certified angel therapist, soul healer and teacher, and intuitive. Born of a ray beyond the indigo ray. And as always, it is my honor and privilege to serve you. Hit that like button. You're going to love this video. Share this video. Hit that notification bell. And please add your soulmate experiences, comments about my soulmate experiences below. So, what had happened was, one time I was lying across my bed. My eyes were closed. I was relaxed, tapped in, doing a Tao chant. I was meditating on the chant, totally at one with it. I was feeling the vibration as it permeated my body. All of a sudden, with no warning, without even a thought of Ghana, of Lawrence, or royalty, soulmates, I was at my Ghanaian coronation in full regalia, standing side by side with Lawrence, my soulmate from that time period, and this one. As far back as I could see, there were people from our kingdom gathered to enjoy the festivities. Everything was red and gold. There was a red carpet, red flowers everywhere, lots of red in the audience, gold everywhere, an abundance of gold. I was dripping with gold. He was dripping with gold. There were gold pillars. Gold was everywhere. I remember feeling very happy, but also nervous. There was something unusual, apparently, about our coronation taking place with us side by side, being acknowledged as the one head to the Akan throne. And there was no knowledge of my present 4D reality. I was completely immersed, completely present in a past life. And then, without any warning, without prompting, I returned to the bed chanting. Only then did I realize what had happened. That I traversed a plane of consciousness and immersed my consciousness completely there. It was experienced as vividly, as authentically as any experience I've had in this present reality. Lawrence, oh my God. I honestly can't think of this man without a whole vibration of passion flowing through me. Even if I'm upset with him, this thing just always comes over me when I think of him. So we've incarnated 4 previous lifetimes and also this life. And each lifetime together, we're having this very powerful, magnetic love between us. We were married in Singapore and Calcutta. We were royalty in Ghana, as we just experienced. And we had a powerful Indigenous American lifetime together as well. This 5th time around, we are reunited yet again in America. I sat here staring at the same old wall. Came back to life just when I got your call. For the old heads out there, that is Peaches and Herb Reunited. I love that song. So Lawrence, my 4th romantic soulmate, he's the one that I know the most about from a soul history perspective. He's the one that I don't want to say have the most powerful connection with to date, because I have a whole host of human beings that I've produced with a different soulmate. I think what I'm getting at here is because of the royal history we share and the number of lifetimes we share, the connection is undeniable. It's a whole thing. It's a whole stratoverse of its own. Stratosphere, stratoverse. I just made up a word. That's how it feels. So even though I had experienced 3 soulmates prior, including a husband, it wasn't until meeting this soulmate that the heavens started teaching me firsthand what it actually means to be a soulmate, showing me with my own experience what soulmates are. Now, I had other phenomenal awakening experiences in the relationship with the soulmate before this one, and we'll talk about that in another video. The first time I saw this man, I was at the company for an interview. Man, my heart skipped a few beats. At that very moment, my soul memories awakened of our past lives together, but I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know then, but our reunion would be so critical in my awakening process. At that point, he was just a deliciously fine specimen of masculinity, and I was enjoying the view. I also had no idea I would become obsessed with our love story. I learned later, of course, that he and I were Ghanaian royalty in one of our 5 lives together. But at that time, I didn't know anything. And so we just relived the third eye experience of our coronation. So that happened years after our first meeting. But interesting enough, we both have a present life connection to Ghana. He was born Ghanaian, and my uncle was assistant chief in the eastern region. I have family in Ghana right now. So when we first met, I noticed everything. But I was there handling business. I didn't know if I was ever going to see that man again. I played it cool for a while. I got the job, by the way. I also had just recently filed for divorce. So I definitely wasn't looking for anything. I was just there contracting my professional services, looking fly every day, looking beautiful, smelling beautiful, because that's how I do. And everybody noticed, and I became a thing, and he was enjoying the view. Gosh, it's making me smile just recalling these memories. So we worked in the same place, and I got to see his deliciousness every day. Oh my God, that was such a thing. I could barely focus on work. I'm telling you, I just wanted to go jump his bones all the time. At this point, we weren't even in a relationship, but that's honestly how I felt. And I was just trying to figure it all out. It's like, you are usually so much more composed than this. What is happening to you? So, like I said, I played it cool for a while. And it was just something about him, from the fact that he was an amazingly attractive, intelligent man. He was degreed, he was successful. He had an amazing body. Just, oh, he was chocolate. He was well-spoken. His taste in clothes, just everything was what I like. But I was still playing it cool. You know, I noticed a lot of the other ladies liked him too. And I was there, you know, getting my paper. That's all I was there for. But I couldn't stop thinking about him. And apparently he couldn't stop thinking about me and watching me. So we developed a friendship. And it didn't take long for him to make it clear that he was interested in more than a friendship. He asked me out on a date when he came back from his trip to Ghana. Oh, I was so excited. But he was too, and I could tell. It was beautiful. I mean, we couldn't stop smiling every time we saw each other. Smiling from continent to continent. So it was this thing that was always pulling me in his direction that I had yet to identify. I didn't know we were soulmates. I just knew he was fine and the type of masculinity that I like. But I could also feel his passion from miles away. It was just a retarded experience because I had loved before, I had lusted before, I certainly have had amazing attractions before. They all have been. It was just something different. It had a life of its own. It was just crazy. It was just, I was obsessed. That's like a legit time in my life where I can acknowledge that might have been like semi-threshold clinical obsession. Okay. So he came back and we had our date. Now, I'm normally such a dignified person, but just the way I felt about him, all of that just went out the window. It did. The tension, the chemistry, the fascination, the pull. It was like a magnetic pull. I didn't understand it all, but I was definitely in it. definitely experiencing it. It's like the more I would try to tame it, control it, put a lid on it, become my demure or regal royal self again. Lord, all it would take was him to just blow my way, or for his number to pop up on my phone, or me to just think about him. He was like kryptonite in a way. Part of being so sensitive, I cry a lot. Like I am crying real tears as I share this story with you guys. So we went on our first date, and I kid you not, this man was interviewing me to be his wife. I was like, really, dude? Wow. He was so strategic with it too, very lawyerly. First, he asked all the questions about the divorce. When did I file? Am I serious about it? Can you show me the papers? In other words, Goddess, are you free and clear with no other empire laying claim to you? Once that was established, he wanted to know about, it sounds very crazy to say this, but me king want to know about my reproductive situation. I thought, oh my God, this dude is cray cray. Who asks such a thing on a first date, right? Now, keep in mind, neither one of us was really conscious of exactly what was going on, but this was definitely a divine appointment that we were experiencing. I guess dude was like, I need an heir, and for some reason, I already know you're my queen. Let's make this happen. I remember saying to him, I feel like you just interviewed me to be your wife. Like, what are you doing? And like I said, we didn't know then that I actually am his wife, and I have been over and over and over again. Our meeting was something we previously agreed to, and even though neither one of us remembered making the appointment, there we both sat together, smiling incessantly. And we were just doing like soulmates do. We picked right up where we left off. We left off as lovers, very passionate lovers, and we left off married. So here we are in this life. And even though the timing didn't seem to make sense in 3D reality, he was getting right to the gusto. So in hindsight, I realized that his soul was in control, not his ego, doing what his soul does when it's in my vicinity. Wife me. He recognized that I had been his wife many times, and he just wanted to get down to business. You hear me? I like a man like that. So are we picking up where we left off, or is there something in the picture that's going to prevent this from happening? Now, his ego may not have realized, like, what is going on? Why am I asking this lady all of this? But that's the agenda his soul was working with. So, like I said, this is an example of his soul recognizing me. But his consciousness did not recognize me. His heart recognized me, but his mind didn't. So had certain decisions aligned appropriately in this life, I would be married to this man right now. But information exchanged where we both knew that we weren't going to be married in this life, it was hard for us to settle on that. That was the best decision based on decisions previously made. But for some reason, neither one of us could settle on it. We weren't cool with that. We continued to have this magnanimous, bombastic attraction and this kind of crazy relationship. And I call it crazy only because It was pulling us so strongly toward one another. When there were things that he needed an heir. I had already finished that phase of my life. So it was the deal breaker of deal breakers. But he still wanted me and I still wanted him. So that's what we were navigating for a good while. And it was a long, delicious, magnanimous, adventurous, and crazy trip. All the things that were in store for me that I learned about myself, I mean, who could have prepared for it, you know? So during our relationship, I was having more and more out of body, beyond this reality experiences. I was trying to figure it all out, trying to navigate it, feeling somewhat crazy, but knowing I was very sane. I'm really surprised that he didn't conclude that I was crazy and stop communicating with me. I'm sure he wanted to, but there was something within him. It was that soul tie, that soul remembrance that prevented him from being able to walk away from me. And as I was having all of these bizarre, beyond 3D consciousness experiences, I shared most of them with him. He didn't understand any of these things. He didn't believe in any of these things. But for some reason, I felt compelled to share these experiences with him. I had all of these dreams about us together. It was like watching a movie of our history together unfold. And I would share all of it with him. He was intrigued, even though he didn't believe at first. Each year on his Earth Day, my soul would write these beautiful, long love letters to him. And I knew it was coming from my soul because they would show up in my head, fully written. So beautiful, so powerful. And they would almost always show up right at his birthday. The momentum of this soul connection, it was so all-consuming. My spirit guide had to come to me years into it, multiple times, to say to me, let him go. Your hold on him is so tight. He has his own journey to walk. And if you keep holding on, he's going to keep holding on. And he won't reach his destination. Wow. I didn't want to let go. I didn't think I could let go. But when it was put to me that way by Thomas, he's one of my spirit guides, I had to let it go. What is the point of loving someone if your love will ultimately hold them back? We have this relationship that is uniquely ours, and it has been amazing and amazingly difficult. We brought out some beautiful, powerful things in each other, and it will always be a special place in my heart. Each year on his Earth Day, he reads these letters that my soul wrote to him. He told me, years after I stopped writing them, he said, every year I pull these out and I read them. So this man is clearly not into reincarnation or metaphysics or past lives. He was a traditional Christian. Yet, his soul would very regularly visit me romantically in the soul plane. When I tell you these experiences are just as real as any other experience I had, I'm telling you the truth. So even while he is physically in a different location and his soul comes to me, the experience that I have with his soul is very physical. When he was making all these visits, because he visited me a lot, I don't think he was conscious of the fact. I would let him know, but he wasn't conscious. So I had a series of 26 dreams detailing our soul history. I experienced 2 of our weddings. I experienced us together in Shanghai. I experienced my close relationship with his parents, his mother in particular, and how much she rooted for our relationship. You see, him and I are like mirror images. We're equal in power and intelligence and everything. So part of our struggle together would be his attempt at dominance. We're both royal. We're both leaders. We're both strong. We're both wise. So when the mom would show up at different times, she would just remind me, like, this is the royal dynamic, if you will. And just, do what you have to do to keep him in line. But this is a meant to be type of thing. So I got to experience the depths of his love for me. And those are experiences that are priceless. I got to feel what he was feeling in his heart for me. It was the most awesome experience. I've predicted future events regarding him, like when he was laid off. I told him months before. I connected him with colleagues at competing companies. I set him up with particular headhunters so that when it happened, he would already be in position. Even after we stopped dating, we remained friendly. There was always sexual tension there, but we wanted to be in each other's lives, no matter if we were moving forward together or separately. So during one of these periods of time where we weren't really communicating, I sensed that he had a car accident. I also sensed when he became ill. I could even feel his energy leave whenever he would travel for business. I would always call at just the right time and tell him to put me in his suitcase. That was a running joke that we had because we both loved to travel, and I was focusing on raising my children and he was traveling all over the world. Years after our romance, I even felt within my heart what he felt in his heart for another young lady that he was engaged to. I've been able to tell him all sorts of powerful things about himself without him telling me. Powerful things about his past lineage that make things in this life make more sense for him. The most precious gift I've given him is our love story, our eternal experience together, living proof that life is eternal, living proof that love never dies, living proof that our intuition and unseen instincts are simply our soul communicating omnipotent truth to us and through us. So I was experiencing all of these frequent miracles while him and I were together. I started training with my beloved spiritual father, Master Sha. And that took me leaps and bounds beyond this universe. It gave me healing abilities directly from the divine Tao. It's during this time that I was enjoying loving on Lawrence that I had my face-to-face encounter with one of my angels in Hawaii. I'll save that story for another video. I am Empress Nandi, and I pray this soulmate reunion has been a blessing for you. Let me know what you think in the comments. We would love to hear some of your soulmate reunions. If you have any questions about anything I shared in the video, please ask. Om. Peace. Amen Ra.